The 1957 Sputnik launch. On an ordinary autumn night in 1957, as the world settled into its evening routines, something extraordinary was about to rise over the Soviet horizon. Hidden behind the silence of secrecy and the tension of the Cold War, engineers and scientists gathered at the Baikonur Cosmodrome, hearts pounding, breath held tight. They stood before a towering R-7 rocket, sleek, powerful, and carrying within it a polished metal sphere no bigger than a beach ball. That tiny sphere was Sputnik 1, and within hours it would change the world forever. As the countdown began, the team could feel the weight of history pressing against their shoulders. Nations watched each other with suspicion, leaders played dangerous games of influence, and the race for technological superiority grew fiercer by the day. But on this night, the Soviet Union prepared to attempt something no country had ever done, to launch the first artificial satellite into Earth's orbit. Engines ignited with a roar that shook the barren steppe. Flames blossomed beneath the rocket, and in a single thunderous surge, the R-7 lifted off the ground. Scientists on the control panel listened intently as telemetry signals streamed in. The rocket climbed higher and higher, piercing the upper atmosphere with relentless determination. Then, at 10:29 p.m. Moscow time on October 4th, 1957, Sputnik 1 broke free into space. For a moment there was only silence, and then a faint rhythmic beep-beep. The signal echoed across the globe, simple, repetitive, unmistakable. The world looked up in awe. Humanity had just taken its first step into the cosmos. People spilled onto streets, scanning the night sky for a tiny, moving point of light. Radio operators tuned in, listening to the eerie, metallic heartbeat that announced a new era. In living rooms, classrooms, and government offices, reactions ranged from wonder to shock. The Soviet Union had done the impossible, and the space race had officially begun. Across the ocean, fear and urgency swept through the United States. The launch of Sputnik was more than a scientific triumph. It was a geopolitical signal. If the Soviets could put a satellite in orbit, what else could they send into the skies? America scrambled to respond, igniting an intense competition that would lead to rockets, astronauts, moon missions, and decades of innovation inspired by one small satellite. Back in the Soviet Union, celebrations erupted. The beeping radio pulses from Sputnik 1 circled the Earth every 96 minutes, a metal messenger silently declaring, "We are now a spacefaring species." And though Sputnik would burn up in the atmosphere months later, its legacy never faded. It marked the dawn of the space age, an era defined by discovery, ambition, and the dream of reaching beyond our world. If this story inspired you, help the channel grow by liking, sharing, and subscribing.